A while back, I watched the video essay In Search of Healthy Masculinity by Sisyphus55. Then later, Why Iroh is the Pinnacle of Masculinity by Master Samwise, both of which were phenomenal videos, and I would be more than content if you were to watch those instead. But if you choose to stay, then I'd like to talk about masculinity as well. Because I watched the two aforementioned videos, I have been thinking about what it means to be a man. I surely have a definition somewhere within my subconscious, but how could I find it? And is it correct? When I was searching for this definition within my meditative cave of eternal wisdom, I landed upon Stoicism. Okay, fine, I was playing Kirby. Stoicism is the ancient philosophy developed by Zeno of Citium, and more famously, the Emperor Marcus Aurelius. Stoicism often speaks of logos, which is the infinitely tangled string of cause and effect. Stoicism aims to teach us to stay calm and focus on what we can control rather than wallow in self-pity. That way we can respond to the logos accordingly. It is imperative to keep in mind that we can have reactions and mourning periods after suffering or hardship, but when we make no effort to bounce back, then we begin to stray from the Stoic teachings. First of all, why are Stoicism and masculinity even related? Wouldn't women also benefit from learning these tenets? The unfortunate truth is that femininity has been seen as overly emotional and hysterical throughout history, so Stoicism only applies to men for some reason? And if women are hysterical, then don't they need Stoicism more? And yes, it is true that women scientifically experience more emotion than men, but it is also true that men act on that emotion more, especially when violence is involved, which is the worst behavior a person can indulge in. So shouldn't men be seen as the hysterical ones? But either way, throwing a derogatory label on the back of a gender isn't helping anyone. I'd like to preface this part of the video by saying Stoicism is valuable and important. I can honestly say that I try to live by a lot of its teachings. But when associating Stoicism with gender, the problems I just talked about become clearer by the second. In the video I talked about in the beginning, Why Iroh is the Pinnacle of Masculinity, Master Samwise says, masculinity is not the opposite of femininity. It is the opposite of boyish immaturity. What absolute fucking bars. I mean, wow. That is probably the closest you can get to my definition of masculinity if I had to put it into words. The biggest obstacle I encountered when thinking about my definition of manhood was to think of positive traits that only apply to men. There is not a single one. If you become a great woman, then you are just a great person, and it's just the same if you become a great man. So should we even strive for gender roles and to define positive masculinity, or just strive to be great? If we put that label of good and bad masculinity, is that not just a new box? I think it's interesting that so many have set out to find healthy masculinity in the first place. It just goes to show how many traits society has said men should have, as well as how big of a problem toxic masculinity was and still is. One of the traits forced onto men being Stoicism. The conclusion of In Search of Healthy Masculinity was essentially walk like a man, talk like a man, act like a man if you want to. But once that hinders a person's ability to live in peace, then it is time to stop. Once again, bars. But it is just as likely to hurt oneself with the stereotypes of manhood as it is to hurt others. When a person like Andrew Tate tells impressionable young men that they shouldn't have emotion because they need to be stoic, not only is that misinterpreting a good message, but that is also leading them down a path of dictating self-worth based on society's constraints. My final messages to you are that 1. Stoicism has nothing to do with gender. 2. You can follow Stoicism while showing emotion, and most importantly, 3. Being a good man is just being a good person who identifies as a man. And as always, thanks for watching.
Hey, so I know this was kind of a shorter video, but I just wanted to tell you guys that I'll probably be doing a lot more content on YouTube. I really hope to improve my use of the medium and my skill at editing, creating the videos, doing the voiceover, and I'll probably be making more short films to post on here. So overall, I'll see you guys. Now you can skedaddle to the other crevices of the internet.